Should I make chocolate mooncake or strawberry mooncake? Chocolate strawberry cake! So, there's this like yinger and yangerons, and they spin in this projected pattern which intersects fourth dimensionally. But it isn't a measurable function. It's kind of whoosh, woo.
Hey guys, welcome back to a new video. Today I will show you how to play ZOE. Skill sequence is Q max followed by E and W, prioritizing the main damaging abilities first and then put points into your ultimate whenever possible. Alright guys, ZOE, the one here, we want to be starting with our Q, so that is like our main damaging and wave clearing ability. It's an ability that you can recast and it deals damage based on the distance it travels, so that's why you see a lot of ZOE players throw backwards and then recast it forward. Now the thing is guys, your passive is like a mini Lich Bane, so whenever you use an ability then your next basic attack will become empowered. And since your Q can be recasted, then you can get 2 passive procs. So in trading, especially in the early game, it's very important that you make use of this for maximum damage. Even though your Q deals more damage if you let it travel further in the early game guys, you can still use it forward just for that quick poke damage. It's a bit optimistic ignite right there, but we are pretty much taking over the lane here, and that is because ZOE is pretty much a lane bully. Your E guys is like your main CC. You can extend the range of it through walls and it's going to put the target to sleep. Then basically empower your next damaging ability once the target is asleep. So that's like your main combo. You hit somebody with E, wait until they're asleep, and then you proc it with an ability. Most of the time there will be a Q. Sometimes there can also be an auto attack if your Q is on cooldown. And your W guys, you see those small balloons sometimes over the minions. If you make sure to last hit that, then a summoner spell or an item active will be available for you to pick. And if you pick that, then you can use that with your W. And whenever you use an summoner spell or item active from your W, then you also get a short burst of movement speed and you deal a little bit of damage. Now if you already have a summoner spell on your W and you want to pick up something else on the ground, what you have to do is that you just walk over the new summoner spell and then you click on it. Just make sure that you walk on top of that, then ZOE will automatically switch it. Or you can of course also just use it before you switch it, but depends. Thing is, ZOE really strong early game because of her passive and her Q as well. And because she has that Lich Bane passive, then you want to make sure that you abuse that in the laning phase because it really adds up. And because a lot of games here are decided in the early game guys, that's why we are using Time Warp Tonic and Delori Biscuits, because that gives us a lot of sustain, so you can use that to trade with. The thing is guys, when you use that E, close range to somebody, a lot of the times they will be trying to dodge backwards. They will be trying to sidestep it by moving backwards. So you can try to predict that and throw it behind them. Just keep in mind that the animation is a bit slower than most summoner spells. So you have to throw it further behind than you would otherwise do with other spells. And also that Lich Bane passive, really good for pushing down objectives as well, because you can get multiple procs off on the towers, so you can push a bit faster. There's also another way you can play it if you need prio earlier on, guys. What a lot of people like to do is that they throw a couple long range Qs onto the caster minions. 2 Qs will be enough in the early game, guys, and the wave is gone almost, the backline minions, so you can push faster. And if your jungler needs help with a Scuttle Crab or something, then you will be the first one to move. There's some action going on in the bottom side, and that ward we placed down earlier is so good. It's especially good against roaming champions, because if I didn't have that ward right now, guys, I would just be spam pinging SS and then my bot lane would be forced to back off. But since we know where he is, then they're free to play as they want to. That ward basically tells you the location of roaming champions, if they're just AFKing mid or what they're doing. It's especially good into TF, Kiana, Talon, you know, all those roaming champions. We have that Protoss Claw active here, so we can actually gap close. He does not have his flash up. Pretty easy kill right there, so that's why ZOE's W is so useful. And especially because it doesn't have a cooldown, so the moment you use a summon spell, then you can already pick up a different one. Then a team fight where people just spam the summoner spells, you have so much to choose from. You can just fly around in team fights and punch people as you wish. Bot lane is doing great, so that's awesome. We also have that ghost up, that's actually really nice in case we do get ganked or something. But they do expire, so it's important that you look at the W icon. The yellow bar right there shows the duration left of it. Just use it right before it expires. It can help you get back to lane faster, because you get a tiny bit of movement speed. And since this is an early game meta, guys, that's why I'm using Electrocute, because that gives us way more presence in the early game. But if you want to play for that late game burst damage, guys, then you can also go for the Dark Harvest. I know a lot of people like to do that. I also like to do that sometimes, because it's insane the amount of burst damage you can get from the late game, and it's also really easy to proc it as well, because ZOE's normal combo will proc it. You hit someone with that E bubble, then you follow up with a Q and they will be almost gone. Also your W, guys, there are some spells you can pick up. For example, teleport is not something you can pick up from the minions, but you can still pick them up if the enemy champion uses it. ZOE was able to pick summon or teleport up from the minions when she was released, but it was way too OP, so it was removed. But keep in mind, you can still pick it up if the enemy champion uses it. And we have really nice item active actually, the Solari, so I get a nice shield. And the Proto Bell is also really great because we get that extra burst of movement speed towards an enemy champion, so it can make it easier for us to hit that bubble. Also, especially if we get that blue smite, that's also really nice because you will slow them. You kind of set them up for the rest of your abilities. I think he's done so topside. That's why I'm moving topside ASAP so I can help him out. They're gonna get the kill here most likely, but we can pick this up. Rek'Sai's already here and coming in as well. And we got the double buff. That is awesome. Like double buff on ZOE is so annoying to play against because her auto attacks also hurt because of her passive. You can just spam our abilities on the wave and then just AFK push it. Especially when you play into something like a TF who just wants to show the way and roam. If you're able to shut him down by AFK pushing guys, then that's also great. Because then he will not be able to roam. He can roam, but he will lose a lot for it. So if he doesn't get 1 or 2 kills, then he's going to lose out on a lot. Nice, and this is what you can do, of course, pick up the enemy summoner spells when they use it, kite them around. That's also what's really fun about ZOE, that she can be so versatile in fights, depending on what kind of item actives and summoners they have. Then we also have the one-shotting part, but that's something else. And ZOE is actually really good right now, because we are in an early game meta, where most games are decided in the early to mid game, and ZOE is actually really strong. That's why she's the strongest. She has a lot of damage in the late game, guys, but the problem is that she needs time to set up people, because she's not good when people start grouping. She's good in those 1 versus 1s, 2 versus 2s, 3 versus 3s, but when the team fights happen, it's very hard to set everything up. Because you need to snipe someone with E, and even if you do that, then there's always someone to block it. Because your Q and your E can be body blocked, right? So it's very hard in team fights to snipe the right people. That one's going to hurt a lot. Yeah, you can use those long range E's to maybe get a snipe or something. If you manage to do that, then it often ends up in a kill, especially if it's a squishy target. And if you're not used to the range you get through terrain, guys, or the walls, then I can recommend that you use the ability with indicators, so it shows exactly how far it will travel. I'm not using that because I'm already used to the range, so I know exactly how far it will travel, but sometimes knowing the range can be good. Especially when there's a lot of stuff going on, for example fights and such, then you can't really wait it out. So yeah, I like to use both, but most of the time I just use it without the indicators, because it's a bit faster. Oh, this is a ridiculous burst damage. That is what ZOE is capable of if she gets her core items. Got the Luden's Tempest, that's like the best mythic item in most of your games. Sometimes you can also go for the Everfrost, but it's nerfed right now, so Luden's Tempest is a lot better. Also another mythic item that empowers your early game because you get some flat magic pen. You also get that extra burst of movement speed, so you also become pretty mobile when you hit someone. So its main weakness is that he doesn't have real mobility. Like all of her mobility is on that W, and if she doesn't have a summoner spell, then she's immobile, right? So all movement speed bonuses you can get will help out a ton. Yeah, pretty much mid game started. It's a bit early right now because we took the tower down super fast. You just want to roam around the map, look for snipes with your E, with the bubble. Okay. Actually, I expected him to recall inside that brush, but this also works. But yeah, just roam around the map when the tower's down, look for snipes, look for those long range E's, and if you manage to hit somebody, then They're going to be CC'd for a pretty long time, so your allies should be able to catch up. Also, if people don't know what ZOE can do, it happens very often that they kill the minion with a balloon on top of it, so you don't get the free summoner spell. It's very important that you lasted it, otherwise you will not get it. So if you see one of those minions with balloons above it, then just ping your teammates back so they don't kill it. Those free summoner spells are really OP, guys. It's really OP. You can do so much with it, and it is so hard to shut you down as well. That's also why ZOE is kind of a counter to Flash, the summoner spell, because you can't flash away from her, because if you flash away, then she's just gonna take your flash and then flash after you, right? So a lot of the time you just see people die with their flashes up, and that's because they can't really waste their summoner. Yeah, we upgraded to the Magi's here, and that is because we are snowballing. When you're snowballing, then you can upgrade it. If you're not, then you just skip the item. I would love to buy sock shoes right here, guys, but I can't really afford it, and I don't want to sit on all of that gold, so just went ahead and bought the lucidity boots. And they're actually the best boots right now because they are so cost efficient. Get so much value out of it. It puts your summoner spell cooldown slower as well as your abilities, so, and it only costs 900 gold. It's going to be nerfed to like 950, but that actually does nothing. That is such a useless nerf compared to what this item offers, so when it comes to boots you have sock shoes and then you have lucidity. Alright, did she dodge it? Oh, she actually went into it. And you almost blocked it as well. Yeah, this is what you want to try to do, guys. Try to snipe people across the terrain. Especially try to do that when they don't have vision of you. Use that ultimate to extend the range so you get more damage on your Q. Thing is, you never want to use your ultimate to escape with, guys, because you always go back to the main spot where you used it. But you can use it to block out CC and such, because you can't really... you always go back to the main spot, right? So it's good for countering CC. It's also good for dodging ability and such, but you never want to use it to escape with. And also, really, another thing that is that you also get some free vision, so if you don't have vision of a spot, then you can use that ultimate to face check, and then you always get back to safety. So there's that, and you can also flash during the but that's also possible, just to get that extra bit of range during a combo, for example. And we got that Hextech alternator, guys, so we get a lot more burst damage going on here. Horizon Focus is actually pretty good on ZOE. Get the extra bit of damage on non-targeted abilities, so it does apply to your Q. And on ZOE you just want more burst damage, so that is the best you can buy, guys. Oh, that was not good. See, I throw it right behind her. I did not throw that E in front of her because I know that she will try to sidestep it by moving backwards. That's very important to do on ZOE because almost everyone you see will be trying to dodge it by moving backwards. Try to predict that, and it's really important because your E animation is so slow. So if you become good at predicting their movements, then you have a lot more success with hitting those E's. Oh, whoops. I should not have done that right there. That's a bit int. I gave away a big shutdown. Greeded a little bit for that kill right there. It's not worth it. But it's not really going to take them back into the game here, guys. We have such a massive lead. We have 3 dragons. We just have to wait for the last one. It actually looks like a good fight for us. Malphite has his ultimate up. Yasuo has it up as well. But that Malphite actually kept that ultimate for so long. We are extending quite a bit. I did that as well. We just need to take the last dragon right here. So this one is really good on ZOE because you get more damage. So or better scaling and more damage. So you get more burst damage, and that's something ZOE really likes. You can go ahead and take the enemy blue buff here. Should be up. And this, so that's awesome. Let's go ahead and take that. Can run out of mana on ZOE. That's why you also have the biscuit delivery. So you get some extra mana, permanent mana as well actually, even if you sell it. But usually you don't want to keep it this late on in the game, guys. That's such a waste, and it also takes up item spots. You used a lot just to get me down. The Thresh coming in as well here. Hit him with that E. If he does that, then we can just walk past him, and then we can return the damage as well. Nice, that was great. But it starts getting tougher if people buy, or if they use cleanse against you, or if they have QSS, because they can use that to get rid of your CC with. If they have that, then you have to be a bit more careful of walking within range of people, because sometimes they will try to bait you out. They will wait cleansing the bubble until you're close enough, and then they just run you down. You can just walk down mid lane. Poppy is bottom side. We have the ghost as well here. I also have a lot of gold, so you can also look for a base. Just have to let Senna push. She has super high auto attack range, so she can take down the tower while we try to poke people. This is what you want to do on ZOE. You want to stay in the corners, and then if somebody walks up, then you try to snipe them. You can go for anyone, but of course the best targets are the carries or the squishy ones, because you can one-shot them. So they're gonna die in a single combo. That did not hit, okay. A bit surprising. If you're super far ahead, guys, then you can also often one-shot people with a single Q without your E up. But you have to be really fit for that, and people also have to be without magic resistance items. But yeah, another important thing is that you can use your Q. Like if you already throw your Q and then you get CC'd, then you can also recast it even though you're stunned or something. That's actually what I did right here on TF. I was stunned, but I still managed to take him down. So that's also important to know. Pretty sure it works with Sonya's Hourglass as well. I actually don't quite remember, but it should do. And it's the same thing as Aurelia's E. You can use them while you are CC'd. Yasuo defending the... it should be pretty free... oh wow, that was pretty nice. Okay. They look pretty weird, but it turned out well, so we get the soul as well here. Can just go as 5 people and then end it towards the bottom side. Or we can also go mid. Just need to make sure that we have a wave and they don't clear it out first. But yeah, the Infernal Soul is so awesome. On mages, of course, you get that permanent damage buff or permanent AP scaling, and then you also get that damage buff. You get some extra poke damage, and it actually helps a lot because sometimes people survive with like 10 HP, so this kind of helps countering that. Back again. Thunder's Hourglass is really nice to pick up, but Everfrost is also another really OP item active because you slow people or you root them with the active and then you get a guaranteed hit with your E. But yeah guys, this was the ZOE guide, so I hope this was helpful. Thank you so much for watching and see you guys in the next video.